We are joined via telephone line by Gerald Mwandiambira. He's the CEO of the South African Savings Institute and obviously not a stranger as well to our SABC platform. Gerald, thank you so much for joining us.
Always a pleasure.
Gerald, Savings Month is upon us once again. What is SASI focusing on this year, considering how COVID-19 has changed our lives?
Look, COVID-19 has affected every single South African. So rather than the traditional annual messages where we try and teach people how to budget and show them ways to save, we're being very practical. Our theme this year is building financial resilience in times. And resilience is about survival. So our campaign this year is called Ways to Save, hashtag Ways to Save, or website waystosave.co.za. And what we're doing is we're hosting a series of webinars with experts who are going to be able to give practical advice on helping South Africans find ways to save. Now, you don't always need to save simply because you have more money. You could also save by changing your behavior. And some of the topics we're going to cover include retrenchment, which is a real threat to a lot of South Africans right now, loss of income, as well as mental fortitude. So your mental health, how are you coping right now with all the pressures going on? So we're going to be discussing all those topics, and on the webinars, our participants stand a chance of winning some money, as well as potentially a grand prize of 10,000 Rand in a tax savings account with our partners at the bank. But the main thing is not the money. I think you hit the nail on the head. We're all under stress. We're all under different pressure. And the problem is when you're under pressure, you tend to be tunnel visioned. So we want to try and expand people's minds and horizons with the expert opinions, and also encourage people to seek professional advice in terms of get a second opinion, because yours is not always the best. And one way you can do it is by being in control of your fate. FATE. These are the four things you spend the most of your money on. F is food. So maybe you can cut down on your food expenses, eat better, buy in bulk with family. A, accommodation. If you're renting, we recommend go back to the family home. Stop paying someone else's house. If you are in a mortgaged home, negotiate with the lender or try and find a solution where you can reduce your expenses. T is your transport. Your car's been parked. You're now working from home. How can you make that car work for you? Maybe think about delivery, because the online economy is growing and there's a lot of delivery opportunities to use that car to earn income. And lastly, E is education or entertainment. Education, your children. If you've lost your job, maybe you need to put your child on homeschooling for a while. And entertainment, hey, give it up. Give it up.
So, Gerald, let's talk about, I want to challenge you on the FATE, the fate that you say that you are advancing now as SASI. So now someone says, look, I've lost my job, but I really do not want to go back home in the villages. I'd like to stay in Johannesburg, in Pretoria, in Cape Town, so that I can find more opportunities. You say one must look at accommodation, which is one of the FATE. How does one navigate this at the time where you are still looking to find employment, but also, you have to consider a lot of other things in mind?
Okay. It comes back to, remember when we talked last year or the year before about black tax? If you are paying a black tax and your friends and family love you, they'll take you. If you weren't, it might be a bit more challenging, but we need to eat humble pie. I think it's not a time for pride. It's not a time for ego. If you've lost your job or lost an income, you need to humble yourself and see how whatever help you can get from family and friends. And family is coming together. This is the best time. Even a family stokvel, this is the time to sort it out and force it to happen.
Let's talk about the use of side hustling at this time. I think this is a very great time for one to start looking at a side hustle. What are you passionate about? What are you good at that you can make money off? And also the issue of low interest rates. I know that Kagiso Mahura in Naledi's Insert talked about the issue of low interest rates and how one can take advantage of that. How can we use these two in order to help our finances get better, Gerald?
Side hustle is quite simple. Go with where the money is flowing right now. And everything right now is, unfortunately, around COVID-19. It's forcing people to stay at home. So there are opportunities for home delivery, even start up a home business which services people who are stuck at home. So you work in the environment you're in. And right now, those seem to be the easiest opportunities. On the low interest rates, know, most experts say there might be another 50 basis point cut in interest rates. So it means it's not a great time to save money from interest.
Right.
But if you have your bond, for example, and you're in good standing, go to your bank, lock your bond at this low interest rate. It will never be this low for many, many years. And that way you'll immediately start seeing a saving in terms of how much you spend towards your home. If you're somebody who's still got a bit of breathing space, keep paying the bond as though you were at the same rate you were paying before March, and see the number of years dwindle on your home loan. And there will be a lot of opportunities. At a time like this, cash becomes king.
Yeah.
So look around the home. There's a lot of things you've been hoarding.
That you can resell, yeah.
You can resell. Yes, it's an old cell phone, but you don't need 3 cell phones which are old. Sell them even for 20 rand, because right now cash is king.
Yeah.
So you might need to go rummaging through your home, see anything of value you can let go, which someone can take off you. Cash will be king, because at this particular time, a lot of people will be feeling the pinch of COVID-19. Even if you had an emergency savings, you've dipped into it and it's slowly coming down. And yes, great if you had emergency savings. Now imagine if you didn't. You might be eating into your credit card. And some of those things are inevitable. Your credit card does become an emergency savings at a time like this.
But it also needs to be used quite wisely. Gerald, thank you so much for those tips. I'm encouraging our viewers to go onto the SASI website to see those hashtags and the competition that they're running, and hopefully the 10,000 Rand prize might boost your savings at a time like this. Thank you, Gerald.